Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Heal Naturally podcast show. I have yet another fantastic guest that I'm going to talk to today, and I was just saying that she puts a smile on my face because we have had several telephone conversations, and I think the funniest one was when I received a text to say, "Sorry, Athena, I'm going to be a little bit late with the phone call because I'm chasing bees." I, I had this vision of this lady running around swarming with bees, but that's not the case, and she's going to talk to us about it today. I am so pleased to welcome to the podcast show Nina Tverskikh from Nina's Bees. Welcome, Nina.
Thank you so much, Athena.
And,
Such a pleasure to be here.
and what a beautiful environment you're in. Have a look at your background compared to my enclosed background. You're absolutely beaming. So, tell us about your amazing products.
Thank you so much. So we are in the Blue Mountains. We live in the bush. And I am quite lucky to be looking after bees. I'm a beekeeper. It all started as a hobby. And I create all natural beeswax-based skincare products.
Well, there has been so much about the health benefits of honey over recent years. But I do have to tell you, my great-grandmother was a herbalist back in northern Greece, and my grandmother picked up quite a few tips from her about natural therapies. And I remember that I came out in this shocking body rash when I was pregnant with my second daughter, and I spoke to my grandmother about it. And the first thing she said to me is, "Put honey on the rash." And I couldn't stop laughing. But then, of course, it's come out that there's the antibiotic part of the honey, which could have very well have cleared up my rash. So there is so much around, not only to put on your skin, but also to take the manuka honeys and the honeys for respiratory and for throat. So how did you come about? Well, first of all, I want to know, how did you become a beekeeper?
It's a truly mind-blowing story because I knew nothing about bees, just as, bees, little creatures, they're gorgeous, they're on the flowers, I have to be careful around them. But then one day, I used to be in sales, so I spent lots of time on the road listening to different podcasts. And one day I was listening to a podcast about bees. And the person who was talking about bees called himself Bevangelist. He was promoting urban beekeeping or backyard beekeeping.
Yes.
And he was so passionate about them. And he spoke with so much love about them. And he brought so many interesting, quirky facts about them that I looked at the bees from a different perspective. I was completely mesmerized. I came home and told my husband that I would like to give home to bees in our backyard because the population of bees worldwide are dying, and we live in such a beautiful setting in the bush.
Yes.
Where else can we give bees a safe home? And soon after that, our conversation, Christmas came, and as a gift from my kids and from my husband, I got the whole outfit. And becoming a beekeeper is quite expensive. So it's, the cost of gear and all the boxes and frames and everything, it sort of adds up. So I got it as a Christmas gift. And from there on, I bought my first colony. And it was the first and the last time I ever bought bees. The first year I looked after bees. I learned about bees. I joined a local beekeepers club. And then when the next year, springtime came, I started collecting swarms from the local neighborhood. So it's my free service to the community. Bee swarm, that's a normal, natural process for bees to reproduce. But unfortunately, they end up in public spaces or on someone's property where people can't have them. So they would like somebody to remove bees, and I do that. So when I remove bees, I give them safe home in our backyard.
So how many bees do you have, Nina?
At the moment, I have 11 healthy big families, and I also now have a good network of beekeepers, and that's why once I collect a swarm and it has settled and it's a healthy family, I happily give it away to friends and other beekeepers who are interested to get another colony.
So, the first thing I think about bees, of course, is the bee sting, which as a young girl, I would get a bee sting on my foot every single summer because we were outside and we were barefoot. Were you at any time concerned about you and your family's safety with swarms of bees?
No, not really. From My husband is very supportive, so he was quite happy for me to get what he thought at that time a hobby.
Yes.
And we looked at safety, and we just got the special medicine. So in case anybody is epileptic, we can give that person a shot.
Yes.
But we knew that whatever happens around, it's all natural. So bees are part of the nature around us. And living in the bush, we live with the concept that you have to embrace the life around you. For example, snakes. Yes, we do have snakes around us as well. Funnel webs. Oh, we have heaps. But we don't kill them. We know how to be safe around them and how to look after ourselves. The same with bees. As soon as I got bees, I talked to the neighbors, made sure that they are happy and they also understand the safety around bees. So don't stand in front of the hive, don't sit on the hive. Other than that, bees are very safe to have them around. They never attack you for the sake of stinging you. They sting as a self-protection. For example, sting on the foot would happen when you accidentally step on a bee in the grass.
Yes, that's right.
Or kids would pick them up from a flower or from a swimming pool. But other than that, bees are very busy. They carry on with their own life. And the least thing they want to do is to sting somebody and die, because bees know they'll sting, they'll die.
Oh, I feel sorry for them. So have you ever been stung?
I have been stung, not many times, but when working with the bees, I learned when I'm very calm and confident, bees feel it, and I work with them in a very calm and peaceful manner.
So it's very, very therapeutic for you, Nina.
It is absolutely. I feel very happy every time when I work with bees. And my beekeeping is organic and natural, so I don't use methods that, say, commercial beekeepers would use. And in this way, I don't feel the need or greed to take honey and beeswax all the time. I work with the bees and see how they are doing.
Okay.
And in this way, bees don't feel that they are threatened, so they don't sting.
So, how long did it take you? I mean, it's an extraordinary story, absolutely extraordinary. I mean, that podcast must have had such an impact on you for you to then go ahead with the hobby and then a business. But how long did it take you before you were confident to handle the bees?
Very good question, Athena. Actually, when I just started, I joined the local beekeepers club, and what they said, open the hive, and every time you take the frame with the beeswax and bees on it, and you look. And when you look, you will learn to see things that you need to see. And interestingly enough, I remember the first 10 times I would open the hive and take the frame out, and I look and I see, and I tell myself, what I see bees. I don't know what I'm looking for. So it took me probably 6 months to be able to see beyond just bees and beeswax.
Yeah.
I was able to see the behavior of the bees. I was able to see the health of the colony, and all that was so fascinating that up to this day, it's been pretty much 5 years into beekeeping, I keep learning new things, because every time when I open the hive and I look and I think, this is something interesting, so I go and Google, and then I come across interesting articles and read and find the answers.
Well, that's incredible. So you've picked this up as a hobby, and now you are producing some beautiful products. Can you talk to me about how that occurred?
Yes, well, as a girl, when I was very young, I grew up in the south of Russia, and I was very fortunate to grow up around my grandma, spending lots of time with her. And she originally came from the Far East, from a family of old believers.
Yes.
So she, as a girl, would grow up in a very remote little town surrounded by taiga, which is like a forest.
Good grief.
And her whole family would have to rely on like bush medicine, on different herbs,
Yes.
to make medicine for different illnesses.
Yes.
So grandma brought that knowledge. And as a kid, I remember we would go on field trips to collect certain herbs which were flowering, or if it was time to harvest them. And grandma talked what was good, what they can be used for. She was still an old believer, and it was Soviet Union time, and the church were prosecuted. So it was sort of like a prosecuted little community of old believers with very little of social support. And my grandma used to look after very old and sick people, and very often some family members would have the last few months of their life in my grandma's place, because she knew how to look after them, and she used all those different herbs, and she made her own salves and different tinctures to help people. Unfortunately, I certainly didn't learn the recipes, or
no,
was not able to get all that knowledge.
Yes.
But the basics stayed with me. And that's why when I was beekeeping as a sort of like a byproduct of beekeeping, you have honey and you have beeswax. And I thought, well, I can make balms, because my kids had bad eczema, and I noticed that balms work much better than any cream that I tried on them. I was very much into natural. So I started making my own salves and balms, and I used different herbs and different botanicals, trying to put a bit more sort of medicinal qualities to the balms. And this is how, from the little sort of initiative to make something for the family, it started to grow, because my friends also loved what I was making, and they started to recommend it to their friends and their friends to their friends. And soon I found that there was a demand, and I was sort of now and then making those little batches. And I, at that time of in my life, I was made redundant, and made me also stop and think what I would like to do in my life. And I thought, well, this is a good start. Well, everything happens for better.
Yeah, well, it's amazing how the universe works, doesn't it? Yet again, here we've got an example where you've become redundant, and it was the perfect opportunity then now for you to move into this business. I just want to touch base on the medicinal aspects of honey. We know that it's now known as an antibiotic.
Yeah.
So is there any others with honey?
Well, honey is amazing. It has antioxidants and also antibacterial and antifungal, but it also has amazing number of minerals and vitamins, and also enzymes, live enzymes. So when bees are carrying the nectar in their special nectar stomach, they enrich it with their own enzymes, and this is what makes honey medicinal.
Amazing.
When historically, honey has been used as a medicinal product and as a very luxurious product, not product like, yes, product like food product that only the richest could afford to have, because everybody was needing honey to treat all skin problems at like 1,000 years ago. And these days, there are now more and more studies are done, and more universities are working with the local hospitals that going back to the basics and starting using honey as a treatment for burns and also for ulcers and also for, say, bed sores. And there are like an overwhelming evidence that it works better than any existing medicine.
It's sort of it's coming full circle. I mean, you
True.
have a family history of natural therapies. I have a family history of natural therapies. I mean, I didn't know for quite a while that my grandmother was the herbalist for the village, with people knocking on her doors 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and she actually didn't pass on that knowledge to my grandmother because she didn't want to burden her, because she was almost like the doctor of the village. So, but it was interesting what my grandmother used to come up with all the time. She always had a suggestion for any sort of condition that we had. But with honey in particular, I mean, what you're saying here is that it's absolutely gold. But it has to get that benefit. It obviously needs to be pure, like coming from your bees, or do you still get those benefits even though it goes through the process that it goes through for the commercial honeys?
When you go to the supermarket, you can see different honeys there.
Mm.
And if the honey says raw honey,
Yeah.
it means that the honey has not been heat treated.
Okay.
Majority of the brands that you see on the shelves in the supermarket would be heat treated. And the reason behind is that because Australian consumers would like runny honey,
Yeah.
rather than a thick and crystallized honey, because
Okay.
they would like to have it, say, on the toast. So by heating honey to high temperatures, it breaks its molecular structure and the honey becomes very liquid, and it stays that liquid for a very long time, say maybe a couple of years. It also does kill anything what's in it, anything bad, but also everything what is good is also killed. So all the enzymes, live enzymes are killed,
Yes.
and lots of vitamins are destroyed. So if you're just buying a normal honey from a supermarket, it's sort of very close on the scale to, say, a sugar syrup. But if you're buying from a supermarket a raw honey, it means it has not been treated.
Yeah.
So you still get all the beautiful enzymes, vitamins, and minerals.
Oh, that's a fantastic tip. I'm actually going to start buying raw honey. I think this is, of course, after I'm using your products. But, yeah, I just think we're so lucky to have something so powerful as a natural therapy in our backyard.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's great. So let's have a look at some of these products. Let's start with these incredible balms. Can you show me what the balms are used for?
Absolutely. I have a wide range of balms, but today I will be presenting 3 balms for face and neck, hands, and a muscle balm.
Okay,
so if we're looking at face and neck revitalizing balm, it has been formulated with a generous amount of honey. So it works really well as a night treatment. It's very rich. So the difference between balms and creams is that balms are formulated without water. And because they're formulated without water, they don't need additional fillers and binding agents and preservatives. Balms are formulated only with butters, oils, beeswax, and botanicals,
Beautiful.
essential oils, and vitamin E, which is really good for your skin. That's it.
So
Nothing
it's not
else.
diluted.
Nothing artificial.
Yeah, not diluted.
And yes, not diluted. Exactly right. So when we're looking at the creams, always look at the first ingredient. And the first ingredient is normally the majority
Yes.
by weight
Yeah.
of the ingredient in that product. And if you're looking at the creams, the very first one would be aqua, water.
Okay.
So here, if we're looking at the balms, they are concentrated. You need just a quarter amount of a cream that you're using. And when you put it on your face or on your hands or on the neck, I call it like a slow food for your skin. It takes up to 5 minutes for the beautiful oils to sink in your skin, but in 5 minutes there will be no greasy feeling, but you will feel your skin incredibly soft, and the feeling of softness and nourishment will last for pretty much 6 up to 12 hours.
So it sounds to me, I'm very interested in this, that this could act as a bit of an anti-aging type of balm.
Balms are formulated with antioxidant-rich oils, which are famous for their anti-aging qualities. We are looking at, for example, the revitalizing face balm. It has beautiful organic babasa butter, which is a powerhouse of nutrients and vitamins that help your skin to restore its original beautiful soft texture.
That sounds like the one I need, Nina. Just between you and I, yes, I think that. And you can use it. Do you use it just once a day, or do you recommend twice a day, morning and night?
I would say for a very dry skin, it works really well as a morning and evening.
Yes.
And as a normal or oily skin, it works as marvelous night treatment.
Okay. All right. So let's now go to another one of your balms that I'm in desperate need of as well, and that is the joint balm or the muscle balm. So this
aches
one,
and pains?
Yeah, aches and pains. Yes, it's my second name, aches and pains. So that's for people with arthritis, joint pain, muscle pain.
Muscle pain, that's right. I use arnica and comfrey in this balm, and arnica and comfrey has been amazing plants that has been historically used to help
inflammation, actually.
Reduce inflammation, but also comfrey has another Latin name that is translated as a bone knit. So what it does, it penetrates very deeply in the tissues, and it reconnects broken tissues, and it helps heal the bones. So I can't say that for my balm, but the botanicals that I use, arnica and comfrey, are well researched and well documented to help with that. It also has cayenne pepper and ginger to help create a bit of a heat on the skin, so that to increase the blood flow to the area, and blood flow always brings more oxygen, so it helps with decreasing the inflammation.
So how long, if I'm suffering from, say, muscle pain and I put that on, how long before I can feel some relief?
I'd say 15 minutes.
Okay. That's amazing. Comfrey, actually, I had someone bring me the comfrey plant a couple of months ago to actually, and we pulped it and to put it into some material, and then to have it on my hip, because I have arthritis in my hips, to put it on my hip. And That's exactly what they were talking about, because the comfrey plant helped his father with a sore shoulder over and above anything else that he used. So it's amazing that you've mentioned it. Okay, so what other balm do we have? I think there was one more before we go on to some of the other products.
Yeah. Restoring hand balm.
Oh, yeah.
It's much lighter balm. It's used as an everyday moisturizer. So it has been created with sort of gardener's hands in mind. It has beautiful oils like olive oil, cocoa butter that are very light. They penetrate very deeply in the tissues of the skin and help skin to restore. It also helps to heal all the tiny little scratches and bumps on the skin.
Oh, beautiful! Because of course, the first thing that ages, and the first thing that you can see signs of aging is the back of your hand. So that's
So the beautiful thing about beeswax in the balms is that it locks the oils in the skin. So it locks the moisture and oils in the skin, forming a very light protective barrier. It also breathable, so it lets your skin breathe, but it locks the oils and beautiful and the moisture in the skin, helping skin to restore.
Lovely. So let's now move on to your soap, because Nina has some beautiful honey-based soaps. And there she's holding it up now, which is lovely to use in the shower or in the bath.
It's all over. It's a bar that can be used on the face, can be used all over the body.
Now, just have a look. So I'm going to interrupt you there, because this is actually the first product of yours that I saw. And a friend of mine had purchased this, and she was so excited, not only about the product, but also with the way the product looked. Have a look at how amazing that looks.
Yeah.
That is absolutely gorgeous. So there's that one, and there's also another one which you'll be able to see on the website that has the queen bee on top. But what a beautiful gift to give to that person who has everything.
Yes, that's right. It's very often bought as a gift. I have hundreds of reviews on this product where everybody is saying how mild it is, how soft and hydrated the skin feels after the shower. But lots of people saying that when they first got it as a gift or they bought it for themselves, they were not able to use it because it just looked so beautiful. So they had to buy the second one to start using it.
Oh, look, I agree. As a matter of fact, I'll have that one on display in my bathrooms with a little sign that says "Do not touch." It looks absolutely stunning. The last product that I'd like to talk about is your beautiful face and body oil, which doesn't have any honey in it. But how you've tied this in is, you can tell everybody how you've tied this beautiful oil in with all of your products.
I was always fascinated by the flowers that bees attend, because there are so many flowers around, and some of them are loved by bees, some of them are not. And I also was fascinated how from different flowers bees make different honey, and it has different medicinal qualities and also have different texture, smell. So I started looking at the beautiful plants that produce the flowers, and as a result fruit or nut. And I thought, well, pomegranate is amazing as a fruit, but also the seeds of the pomegranate are a powerhouse of different vitamins and minerals and antioxidants. So I thought this looks like a really good ingredient for a product. Then I looked at other beautiful flowers that eventuate into camellia nut oil, and I thought this is a beautiful oil. It is very rich in antioxidants. So I cut up a few beautiful organic oils together, and I created floral oil, which I call Bees Paradise, because it comes from the plants that bees adore.
It's all their favourites. It's their favourites rolled into one.
All their favourites. It also has beautiful roses and jasmine because this product has essential oils of rose and jasmine.
Just beautiful. Okay, well, now that we want to buy every single product that you've held up and spoken to us about, um, do you have a special for our podcast viewers today? Please, Nina.
Absolutely. For Heal Naturally, I'm happy to offer 10% discount if you buy via Heal Naturally website.
Fantastic.
And
So for all of our podcast viewers, 10% off the entire range that you'll see on www.healnaturally.com.au for a limited time only. And Nina, with Christmas just around the corner, what are you going to buy your bees for Christmas?
Probably a little bit more hardware to make more hives, to give them a bit more space.
Well, it's been absolutely delightful speaking to you today and learning all about your hobby come business and your beautiful, beautiful products. I can't wait to try them. I really can't. I could just imagine by the way you were speaking how lovely they would be on the skin, and all the medicinal and therapeutic side of these products. You can't go wrong. And like I said, what a wonderful, wonderful Christmas gift for someone that you love.
Thank you, Fana.
Really, really
Yes,
lovely.
and also looking at the bees, working with the bees, what I learned is that we also need to look after our environment. So when I started creating my products, the first thing I was thinking, this has to be a sustainable product with sustainable packaging.
Yes.
So all my products are packaged in recyclable aluminium tins. And the best part is that aluminium is recycled here in Australia, and it only takes half of the energy to recycle it. So it's really good. It's environmentally friendly, and all my other products are packaged in recyclable craft paper boxes, which are already made from recycled paper, so good for the environment as well. So there's no plastic, I never use any single-use plastic in packaging my products or in making my products.
You not only have amazing products, but you're eco-friendly and extremely responsible, which is so lovely to hear, because it's top of mind for all of us now, isn't it? All of us.
Yes.
So Nina Tverskikh, thank you so much for joining us from Nina's Bees. I've enjoyed talking to you, and we look forward to having your products on the Heal Naturally site. You have a great day.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.